Hello there. Now then, in case you're wondering what's happened here, this is me wasting time because I'm meant to be writing, and I just thought, there. So, yeah, slap me or something. Anyway, Sarah Churchill has just done a video where she showed all of her. That's a bit better. She showed all of her unread books and revealed how many she had. And I'm just going to do the same basically. I'm literally just going to hold them up, title, author, and yeah. I counted these after Sarah's video and realised that I have a shameful amount. I mean, I thought, I ain't got nowhere near that many, yet I do. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good idea. I will post her original video in the description. Here we go then. First I'll start with, I've kind of got an order to my bookshelf. I'll start with non-fiction-y books. I have... They're not all non-fiction, by the way. Some got shoved in there. I have Regeneration by Pat Barker. We'll Always Have Paris by Ray Bradbury. Farewell Summer by Ray Bradbury. And Dandelion Wine, also by Ray Bradbury. An Idiot Abroad by Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. Oh no, well it's not. I suppose it's by Carl Pilkington. Never mind. Stuart by Alexander Masters. Sybil by Flora Rita Schreiber. The First Third by Neil Cassidy. Operating Instructions by Anne Lamott. Orlando by Virginia Woolf. The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams by Sylvia Plath. These aren't meant to be in here. I don't know how they got in this part, but I'll do them anyway. Ruby Holler by Sharon Creech. Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, that is The Two Towers. Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Wild by Cheryl Strayed. The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque. One of Our Own by Carol Ann Lee. Visions of Cody by Jack Kerouac. Maggie Cassidy by Jack Kerouac. Metamorphoses by Franz Kafka. The Gift by Lewis Hyde. Quiet by Susan Cain. The Fry Chronicles by Stephen Fry. Look at that. Look at that destruction there, that big teacup mark. That was me, I'm ashamed to say. Beautiful Chaos and Beautiful Darkness by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. Hollow Earth by John and Carol Barryman. The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. Poison Study and Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder. The Book of Tomorrow by Cecilia Ahern. The Truth, Eric, and Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett. Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. The Lord of the Rings Part 1. And Eragon by Christopher Paolini. The Dark and Moon by James Herbert. The Leopard and the Snowman by Joe Nesbo. Ian Rankin's Hide and Seek. Salem's Lot by Stephen King. The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness. Howl's Moving Castle, Castle in the Air, and House of Many Ways by Diane Wynne Jones or something. Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher. The Reaper by Stephen Doon. 61 Hours and Without Fail by Lee Childs. The Vanished by Celia Reese. The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. The Memory Collector by Meg Gardner. The Rapture by Liz Jensen. The Second Messiah by Glenn Mead. I Love You More by Lisa Gardner. Birdsong and A Fool's Alphabet by Sebastian Faulks. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonathan. Atonement and Enduring Love by Ian McEwan. The End of Mr. Y by Scarlett Thomas. Moby Dick by Herman Melville. The Sea by Iris Murdoch. Women in Love by D.H. Lawrence. Resistance by Owen Shears. A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Persuasion by Jane Austen. Sense and Sensibility also by Jane Austen. Summer Lightning by P.G. Wodehouse. Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel. Pride and Prejudice also by Jane Austen. And Shakespeare's Mistress by Carrie Harper. Any Human Heart by William Boyd. The Way We Were by Elizabeth Noble. Now Is the Time to Open Your Heart by Alice Walker. The Woman Who Went to Bed for a Year by Sue Townsend. Tim by Colleen McCullough. I don't have a clue. The Guardian by Nicholas Sparks and The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. Miss You Forever by Josephine Cox. Sheltering Rain by Jojo Moyes. Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Cloud of Bones by Bernice Morgan. A Painted House by John Grisham. Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Down and Out in Paris and London by George Orwell. Slaughterhouse-Five and Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. Tales of Ordinary Madness by Charles Bukowski. The Picture of Dorian Gray and Dr. Profundus and Other Prison Writings by Oscar Wilde. Oh my days! I just noticed my puppy must have done that. Oh. And Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. This is an embarrassing one, but in my defence I only bought it because it was in a deal and it's about books. Right. The Naughty Girls Book Club by Sophie Hart. Confessions of a Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. Bridget Jones's Diary, The Edge of Reason by Helen Fielding. The Family Way and Man and Wife by Tony Parsons. I keep finding nibbles in all my books, it's really upsetting. Double Fault by Lionel Shriver. Father's Music by Dermot Bulger. The Drowning of Arthur Braxton by Caroline Smales. The Woman He Loved Before by Dorothy Coomson. Game of Thrones by George R. Martin. Postcards from No Man's Land by Adrian Chambers. Fallen by David Main. Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. Making History by Stephen Fry. A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. Brick Lane by Monica Ali. The Autograph Man by Zadie Smith. Sing You Home and The Pact by Jodie Pickup. Angels by Marion Keyes. The End of Alice by A.M. Holmes. The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. Oscar Wilde and the Candlelit Murders by Giles Brandreth. High Fidelity by Nick Hornby. Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. Possession by A.S. Bryant. Trainspotting and Skag Boys by Irvine Welsh. Indian Journals by Allen Ginsberg. The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Men Who Stare at Goats by Jon Ronson. Miracle of the Andes by Nando Parade. Oscar Wilde's Stories for Children. And The Yin and Yang book, which is edited by Paul Anderson and Jodie Cleghorn and written by various people. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, Life, the Universe and Everything, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish and Mostly Harmless by Douglas Adams. The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. Labyrinth and Sepulchre by Kate Moss. A Stir Calm Kiss by Susan Price. Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. Anna Karenina by Lee Tolstoy. And finally, Ayako by Osamu Tezuka. So yeah, that's everything. Too many, as you can see. Sorry that the light was all over the place during that video. I just think the sun's been like all around the world in that time. But yes, feel free to do the same thing. It's good fun to do, and it's quite interesting actually to see how many books you actually haven't read. So yeah. And also, if there's any that somebody wants me to read and review, please let me know. These are all my TBR, and if anyone's got anything good to say about any of them, please do. Bye.